Hello, I'm Tesa Shepperson of Landlord Law and also the Landlord Law blog, and I'm here with my assistant Mark to answer your questions. So Mark, what's our question for this week?
So our first question is from Albert, and the question reads this: should I consider a deposit replacement insurance scheme for my tenant who cannot afford an insurance or custodial fee?
Right, well, deposit replacement schemes have become quite popular, and they are popular with tenants obviously because they don't pay as much, because the normal deposit, the traditional deposit, it can be up to 5 weeks rent, and I know many tenants find that hard to pay. It's quite a lot of money to find in one go. But landlords need to be careful with deposit replacement schemes, and you need to check them out. The first thing I need to say is that you have to offer them as an alternative. You can't just offer them a deposit replacement scheme, because under the Tenant Fees Act it says that if you offer an alternative scheme, the tenant has to have the option of going for a traditional deposit, which might actually be better for them in the long run, even though they have to pay more up front. So the things you need to check, first of all, a lot of people think that these alternative schemes are some sort of insurance, but actually they're not. What they are is they are a guarantee. So the company is guaranteeing to pay any damage that the tenant does, provided it's not fair wear and tear, at the end of the tenancy, up to a certain amount. So the obvious thing is that you need to be sure that the company that you go with will be good to pay any losses when your tenant finally leaves, because the tenant may be there for quite a long time. I mean, some tenancies go on for many years. I think the average tenancy is about 4 years, but some people have been there for a very long time. I mean, your tenant could be there for 15 years. Is this company still going to be around to pay out on the guarantee? You also need to consider what the terms are. Some of them have fees. For example, if you have a traditional deposit, that comes with a free mediation, which both parties can take advantage of. Whereas with an alternative scheme, they will probably say in their advertising literature that they use the same mediation as some of the traditional deposit schemes, which indeed they do, but they're doing it on a commercial basis, and you have to pay for it. And you'll normally find, if you dig around in the terms and conditions of your alternative scheme, that you have to pay a fee. So you need to see what the fee is and when you have to pay it. And I think the final thing to say is that you need to know who is providing the scheme, and whether they're regulated. Some of the schemes, for example, the same company, Hamilton Fraser, who does my deposits, they've got their own scheme called OWN, and they are regulated by the, what's it called? The financial schemes. You know the scheme I mean, but they are properly regulated. So, if anything goes wrong, you'll get your money. But some of the other schemes may not be. So you need to be really careful. So I think those are the things that you need to think about, Albert. Is there anything I've missed, Mark?
No, I don't think so. I think
I've gone over everything. Perhaps might want to mention to Albert's tenant, because I'm sure there are going to be some tenants watching this, is you need to be sure that this is what you want as well. When you go under a traditional deposit, at the end of your tenancy, if the landlord's got any claim, he takes it from your deposit. Now, when you do this scheme, the fee that you pay at the beginning, that's not like a deposit. It's not refundable. It's a fee. So if at the end of your tenancy, your landlord finds that you've done 300 quid's worth of damage, you've damaged a carpet or something, you're going to have to pay that at that stage. It's not going to be taken out of deposit that you've already paid. So I think that's something you need to be aware of. And some of these schemes, they're not limited to 5 weeks, like the the government schemes are, you know, some of them are up to 12 weeks, and that could be quite a lot of money for you to find. So, you know, tenants need to be careful as well, and you may find that actually, although it's a lot to pay up front, you may be better off with a traditional deposit scheme. So, I hope that's okay for people, and Mark and I will be back next week
Yep.
with another question.
Thank you.
Thank you.